Welcome to Shredders Connect. Today I'm sharing with you how I personally find weight loss easier in the winter than I do in the summer months. A lot of people really struggle with weight loss in the winter because all they want to do is eat comfort foods and eat stews and big hearty portions of creamy mashed potatoes and that kind of thing. And all that can lead to weight gain. And also with Christmas coming up, holidays coming up, that can also lead to a lot of weight gain. And if we take the approach that Christmas is just one day, and I know we celebrate it over a few days, and in America they celebrate Thanksgiving as well. But if we try not to overeat the rest of the time leading up to those special occasions, there's no reason why we can't have treats and still lose weight as well. So I'm going to share some strategies with you today, ways that I personally lose weight over winter, and I find it easier to lose weight than I do in the summer months. And the main reason I find it easier to lose weight is because in the summer, I'm a much more sociable person. I'm out having fun. I'm going on holidays, vacations. I'm going to the beach. I've got lots of things going on over the summer. I get invited to more parties. I'm just out and about all the time. I want to eat ice cream. All these things are going on in the summer, and I'm a real outdoorsy person. So I'm always out and about, and I find it much harder to say no to social things in the summer. But when it comes to the winter, I am much more likely to be indoors, especially in the evenings. I do go out a bit over the weekend, but I tend to be indoors a lot more. I'm not out and about outside like I am in the summer. I do go for walks as well, but they're shorter and less frequent in the winter. So you would have thought less exercise would also lead to weight gain. And a lot of people think that because they're exercising less over the winter, this also leads to weight gain and they struggle to lose weight in the winter. But if you've watched one of my other videos about why exercise doesn't actually help you lose weight in the ways that you think it does, you will understand what I mean when I say that losing weight isn't really about exercise. Yes, it can help a little bit, but it doesn't help in the big way that a lot of people think it does. A lot of people think that to lose weight, they have to burn those calories by slogging it out and going for a really long run, like going for an hour-long run every single day. But the problem is that, yes, it does burn calories, and it does burn more calories than not going for that run. But the problem is that most of the calories that you burn every single day are not actually based on the exercise that you do. And this is because your metabolism is responsible for most of the calories that you burn all day. So it's not the exercise burning the calories, it's functioning. And also, food has a much bigger impact on your weight loss than exercise does, because yes, you will burn slightly more calories by going for that run than you would do by going for a short walk, but it doesn't make a massive big impact on the calories. And what tends to happen is, like going to that really high intensity exercise run every day, your body will just slow down your metabolism day, and also it will make you much more hungry and much more tired. So you'll be more hungry, so you'll eat more food, and you'll be more tired, so you'll burn less calories through something called NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is just like fidgeting, moving your hands, gesturing, just getting up off your seat, moving around your house, doing little household projects, that kind of thing. You'll be much more tired and less likely to burn calories through NEAT. So often when you do more exercise, you often end up not burning any more calories at all. So when it comes to weight loss, my advice and what I do personally is I don't tend to base my weight loss on my exercise plans at all. Yes, I think exercise is really healthy, but I don't base my weight loss on it. Yes, I have to exercise for good health, and I do exercise in the winter. I still go to the gym and do my weight training, but my cardio goes way down. So I'm not really burning that many calories when I go and do my weight loss. I don't even work up a sweat really. I go to the sauna to work up a sweat in the winter. And yes, that burns a tiny bit of exercise, but I do that maybe once every couple of weeks, so it doesn't really have a big impact. But I don't do as much cardio, and I do find it easier to lose weight in the winter, even doing less cardio. So there are 3 things that I'm going to share with you today, 3 things that I do to help me to lose more weight in the winter. And let me know your comments below. Do you find it harder or easier to lose weight in the winter or the summer, spring, autumn, fall? Let me know in the comments below. So the first thing that I do in the winter is I make sure that I'm planning my calories. And this often goes without saying, especially if you follow my channel, you know that the only scientific way to lose weight is to eat less calories than you burn. We can't always determine exactly how many calories we burn, but we can have a pretty good guess at the number of calories that we eat. And if you keep this consistent, then you will know that if you plan to eat less calories the following week, then you will tend to lose weight. So you can track it and you can manage it with your calories. And if you are being very consistent with your calorie tracking, then you will almost certainly lose weight if you are eating to your own personal calorie budget. Everybody's got their own calorie budget, which is how many calories they need to eat per day. And this is different for everybody. And if you want to know how many calories you can eat, I've got a free gift that's in the link below that will tell you how many calories you can eat. So check that out, have a look, and make sure that you are eating to your personal calorie budget. And if you're eating to your personal calorie budget over the course of 4 weeks or a month, you will consistently lose weight. It might not be consistent over the next 1 to 2 weeks, because especially if you're a female and you've got hormones flying all over the place, your weight will definitely fluctuate every single week. You will get on the scales and it will go up and down and up and down, and you will see this roller coaster of your weight loss and your weight gain. And this is perfectly normal. It happens every day. It happens every week as well. But what you are looking for is you are looking for a steady decline in your weight over the last 4 weeks. And that will show that you are being consistent with your sticking to your calorie budget and eating under your calories. There are certain times where you'll naturally feel hungry, and you definitely don't want to starve yourself because this will impact on your metabolism. So you want to make sure that you're eating regularly, nice filling foods, and you're eating to your calorie budget. Now, a lot of people say, I don't have the time to plan my calories, to eat my calorie budget. And this is one of the reasons why I find winter weight loss easier, because I've got more time to work on my diet and plan my food. And personally, I don't spend a lot of time doing this every single week. Now I've got into really good routines around this. And if you get into routines, hopefully you will also be able to track your calories and plan them a lot more easily. What I tend to do is I will eat the same types of foods over and over again. So I'll make very similar breakfasts. I'll log the calories once, and I'll just keep on making that breakfast over and over again. I'll eat very similar lunches and very similar dinners and very similar snacks, and I keep it very similar. I maybe have a bank of a few different recipes. I cycle through them, so I don't have to keep on planning my recipes over and over again. I just pluck out one of the ones that I've already used and I keep using that one. And in the winter, I change the types of foods that I eat. So this is tip number 2 about winter weight loss, is eat the types of foods that you personally want to eat. Don't try and go on a rabbit food diet or follow a diet that you don't like the food. The worst thing is trying to stick to a diet that you don't enjoy what you're eating, because it's not going to last. It's going to feel like really hard work. What I tend to do is I think, what kind of foods are both healthy, filling, have a lot of protein, a lot of nutrients, but I also enjoy eating them. This is essential for me. So yes, I like junk food as much as the next person, but I keep junk food at a minimum. I will have a couple of meals of junk food at the weekend, but I'll plan it. I'll plan the calories so I don't feel deprived. I add little tiny amounts of junk food every single day, but I don't plan entire meals of junk food. I just have little tiny bits. So in the winter, I know that my own preferences change as to what kind of foods I like to eat, and a lot of people feel the same way. So in the summer, we might crave salads and smoothies, shakes, cold food, ice cream. And in the winter, we naturally crave warm food. So in the winter, I lean into this and I tend to have warm porridges, warm soups, warm stews. I'll have a lot of things that have sauces in, which are nice, warming foods. And I've just started in the evenings making crumbles, healthy food crumbles. This is a very UK specific type of meal, like apple crumbles. I'll have berry crumbles. A lot of the time I will have peach crumbles because we can buy tinned or canned peaches and they're quite cheap. So I will just drain those, rinse those, throw those into a container, and I will make a healthier topping. So I tend to put just a small amount of gluten-free flour because I'm gluten-free. I'll put a small amount of oats with some sweetener. I won't put sugar in. I don't add sugar to my own cooking. So I'll put a granulated sweetener in there to give it that lovely sweet taste, bit of cinnamon, and I have a tiny amount of margarine. And this margarine that I buy is the lightest, lowest calorie margarine you can find. And I just have a tiniest little amount. So that would be like my junk food amount for the day. So I don't avoid all junk food because I like to enjoy life. And so I have a tiny little bit of that. I mix it into the crumble topping. I bung it in my air fryer for 25 minutes, and I'll maybe have that with a side of either yogurt or some custard made from some very low calorie milk. At the moment, I'm eating almond milk. So it would be almond milk, which is very low in calories. So this is a very low calorie dessert. And to me, I can't tell the difference between this lovely peach crumble that I make and going out for a meal and having a lovely apple crumble. In fact, I actually think it's nicer a lot of the time, the food that I make. So when you get used to cooking, you get better at it and you enjoy your food a lot better. So lean into making those lovely warming winter foods, but just plan the calories. And because my crumble, it has only about 80 calories per serving, it's not that much. You know, I can easily fit that into my calorie budget every single day and have a delicious treat that I really look forward to eating, and I don't feel deprived at all. And in the winter, I have more ice creams, and I'll have healthier, lighter ice creams in the summer. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is, if you tend to find that you are in the house more or you want to be inside more because the weather is really bad, it's raining, it's cold, then how about going to the gym? I know you might not go to the gym currently, but it's a warm place. It's free from the rain. So instead of just vegging out in front of the TV, then why not go to the gym? I personally go 3 times a week. I only go for about half an hour, sometimes 30 to 40 minutes per session, and that is it. I don't do any more than that. I'm pretty much on a maintenance to slight growth phase when it comes to building my muscle. I feel like I've built a lot of muscle and I'm maintaining the muscle that I've already built, so I don't need to go all out in the gym. But going to the gym, it won't help you specifically lose weight, but it really does help you when it comes to sculpting your body. So for me personally, I've been much happier with the way that my body has looked since I started consistently doing weight training. Before I started doing weight training, I would get down to a similar sort of weight, but I was never happy with it because I had what was called skinny fat. So I would feel like, yes, I'm in the clothing size that I want to get to. I might be a size 10 or whatever, but why have I got this big stomach hanging out over my jeans? And why are my legs looking really flabby? So I feel like I reached the size that I wanted, but the shape of my body, I just always hated it. So for me, I always I kept on trying to push myself to lose more and more weight when I didn't really need to lose the weight when I got to a size 10. I just needed to sculpt my body. And if you sculpt your body, you're going to be much happier with the way it looks. And when you get to your ideal weight, which I have now, I fluctuate up and down a little bit, but I have maintained it pretty much at my ideal weight for years now. So when now I've got to my ideal weight, I'm much happier with the way my body looks. And even when I gain a few pounds, which I do all the time, my weight constantly fluctuates. I'd say maybe like 7 pounds up and down, depending on what kind of lifestyle I've had. If I've been on holiday, on vacation, it will go up and then I'll lose that weight again. So for me personally, I'm still losing weight. Even though I've reached my ideal weight, I still keep on gaining weight because I love my food. I love to overeat as much as I used to, but I am now better at being able to lose the weight. And then when I gain that extra 7 pounds, I look in the mirror and I'm not unhappy with the way I've looked like I used to before I started the weight training. I'm much happier with the way that I look now. So that's really helped me to be consistent when it comes to keeping the weight off, because I'm happier with the way my body looks, because there's nothing more demotivating than losing all the weight and looking in the mirror and still being unhappy with your results, because you think, well, what was the point? And then you're always desperately trying to lose those extra few pounds because you're never happy with the way your body looks. And then you reach that goal and you're just not happy with it. So you think, oh, what's the point? I'm going to go back to the way I was eating. So weight training, not only is it amazing for your health, it's also really good for your personal motivation, keeping the weight off. And it does burn a few calories having more muscle on your body. Nothing amazing, but it really does help you to keep the weight off. You can indulge a little bit more when you've got more muscle on your body, but women will never have the high levels of muscle that men will have. So they're my 3 strategies. Let me know in the comments, have you got any questions? I will do a future video answering those questions. I also have so many resources. I've got a new Etsy shop, which is called Shredders Connect, and I will link that down below. And in that shop, Shredders Connect, I do a load of printables. I've got weight loss trackers. I've got meal plans, diet plans, food lists. I've got all kinds of things. My most popular product is my Mediterranean diet. I've got a 7-day Mediterranean diet. I've got a 4-week Mediterranean diet. Some of them are calorie counted and will help you to lose weight. So if you don't know what to eat, those are very, very reasonably priced. And I'm currently running a 50% off sale. So get over there and you can follow that. You can use it for inspiration. And then I recommend tweaking things when you get more comfortable to make the food that you really want to eat. So just make sure that you're eating food that you personally love. So thank you for tuning in today, and I will catch you next time.